Hello. So I feel the need to make yet another correction. So in a previous video, I was talking about this book, Her Country by Marissa R. Moss. Yes, Moss. So I was talking about this, sorry for the glare, but this book right here, it gives a history of country music weaved into the biographies of Casey Musgraves, Mickey Guyton, and Maren Morris. And it just talks about the triumphs and hurdles that the female country artists had to go through and overcome in order to become the superstars and legends that they are and we know today. So one of the artists who is mentioned in this book is the Dixie Chicks. And I talked about how the statements that were made by the lead vocalist, Natalie Maines, how that ended their career. So now, keep in mind, when this situation happened, it was back in 2003, which I'm not sure, I'm going to say social media wasn't a thing then, but maybe it was. I'm not sure when MySpace happened, but like, if anything was going on, it was like in its infancy, okay? So we, the mass audience, we would get our information from the radio, TV, magazines, newspapers, stuff like that. And when the situation happened with the Dixie Chicks and Natalie Maines, she made that statement at it wasn't in America, it was at a concert, I think in London. I'm not quite sure, but it was not in America. They were doing a concert or they were on tour somewhere else. And she made the comment about being ashamed that, then president was from Texas or whatever, something to that effect. And everything came to a halt is how I saw it when that situation happened. And for me, because I don't know much about the Dixie Chicks as it is, it seemed like on the outside they got canceled, which the author, Marissa R. Moss, she does say that they did get canceled, and I think they said it as well. But how I remembered the situation, I was thinking they were shut down. So when I went back to research what happened, and that was in 2003, right? What I found is that country radio stopped playing the Dixie Chicks, and I think a lot of their concerts were canceled, and fans were in a uproar, and some people were saying they were not going to buy their music anymore, support them, blah blah blah. And sometimes that collective opposition sometimes is just people wanting to join in and follow just because they want to be a part of it, But what it looks like is the Dixie Chicks got canceled on a corporate level, is what I'll say, okay? Because they went on to make albums and they continued to tour, and they even worked with people. They've worked with Beyonce and Taylor Swift, and they came out with their latest album in 2020, Gaslighter, which I didn't know. Okay. But, I was just thinking that they were done for, and I totally got that wrong. But that's how you see it when, you get canceled on a corporate level, because that means, you know, when you don't hear people on the radio, then you think they're done, you know what I mean? Because that's where you would hear the music at that point in time, you know? So I thought they were done, but there is a chapter in here, chapter 5, which is titled Not Ready to Make Nice. And I believe that's one of the, and I learned that they now go by the Chicks. They are no longer the Dixie Chicks. But in this chapter, Moss talks about the situation with the Dixie Chicks, and basically country music wanted them to, you know, give the standard apology and go on the apology tour, and so I know they weren't ready to be apologetic. The Chicks weren't ready for that. So that, I think, that decision is what led to them not being played on country radio. But it sounds like it did not hinder their career at all, because they had a double, I think it was the Not Ready to Make Nice, ended up going double platinum, that single. Let me see if I can find where it said it at. Okay, I cannot, oh wait, here it is. So she said, when they won the Grammys for Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Album of the Year, Best Country Performance by a Duo or Group, and Best Country Album at the beginning of 2007, it was a landmark moment for artists like Casey. The Chicks had broken all the rules of decorum you're supposed to follow on Music Row, and the sheer mention of their names could send shockwaves and shivers through Texas and beyond. So they ended up, taking home a lot of Grammys, and that was back in 2007. So this is 4 years after the incident. But I don't even watch the Grammys. It is so long and just anyway. But I can't find where it said. So, yes, the success of Not Ready to Make Nice, which the trio wrote with Dan Wilson, did turn the fault line running through Nashville into a gaping canyon. I'm trying to figure out, did I get it wrong? I think I read somewhere in here that it went double platinum, that song. Yeah, that song turned out to be a huge hit for them, a massive hit. And it looks like the Grammys were ready to forgive. They were in a forgiving mood, but country music, they are quite unforgiving and intolerant, okay? So they weren't ready to put the Chicks back on the radio, but it looks like they were doing pretty good without it. I mean, they have been touring and everything else. So I guess we could learn a lot from the Dixie Chicks on how to succeed without country radio, or just the corporate folks, huh? I just wanted to clear that up because I kind of did think the Chicks were gone. So I did not know about all of their successes, but I mean, thereafter, but yeah, they're still around. And in fact, I learned that they are on tour, and they haven't been on tour, from what I read, in 15 years. So they're back on tour, and they had a sale going on where the tickets were $25, but I missed out on that. I mean, I would just go just because it's cheap, right? Although I hear they give a good show, like, and then they got their kids in it this time. They've got one of them said their son is playing an instrument. They're part of the band, and then one of them it's their niece. So it's like a family affair or something, you know. But anyway, I always paid attention to the chicks in interviews, but I never really paid attention to their music. I just like them in interviews, their sisterhood, and the way they are supportive of each other and how they make music together. I just think they are inspiring, I would say. And I think it was Natalie who was talking about their first #1 hit, There's Your Trouble. I think that's the title. And she said how they haven't performed that song in several years. I think they don't like performing that song, but they plan on performing that song. Now, I really don't know that song, but that is their first hit. And then, oh yeah, I remembered now, Wide Open Spaces. So I was going through their collection, and you should go on their website. I like how their website is set up because, like, does anyone visit websites anymore? But their website is pretty cool, where they give you a snippet of each song, so you don't have to, listen to the whole thing. But yeah, I just wanted to make that correction about the Dixie Chicks, or the Chicks, I should say. They are still around, still badasses, okay? Bad chicks who can sing and play instruments, okay? But anyway, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. I post videos every week, usually book, film, or music related. And tell me, you know what? I think a new song from the Chicks is what we need in this climate that we're in today, with what is going on with the Supreme Court. And I think the Chicks would be the perfect artist to speak on what's happening right now. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. That is all I will say. But anyway, I'm going to get out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.